Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Psych 3011 from Section 1 and we are from Group 4 and we're going to explain about Islamic intervention on gaming disorder. Let's start off by defining what is gaming disorder. So Internet Gaming Disorder or IGD is included in the latest version of International Classification of Disease and is defined as a pattern of gaming behavior characterized by impaired control over gaming, priority given to gaming over other activities, as well as escalation of gaming despite its negative consequences. Gaming disorder has also been recognized by WHO as the mental health disorder, which further amplifies the seriousness of this issue. This issue affects everyone regardless of their age, gender, or race. There are multiple factors that lead to this issue, such as lack of parental control, lack of self-control, as well as peer influence. Research has shown that cognitive behavior therapy embedded with Islamic values can help to reduce gaming disorders. So what is Islamic intervention? Islamic intervention can be defined as integrating Islamic values and principles in therapy aimed to cure mental illnesses. According to Azhari et al. 2022, individuals' levels of anxiety and depression were much lower after using Islamic religion-based interventions. This approach is unique because of its thorough overview and flexibility in dealing with human nature. Therefore, it is believed that using Islamic interventions or integrating Islamic values in treating mental health disorders such as Internet gaming disorder will be helpful to minimize patients' addictions. That is all from me. I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
So the objective of this study is, the first one is to identify factors that influence gaming disorder among children. Secondly is to understand the parents' role according to the Islamic perspective. And lastly is to propose Islamic intervention on gaming disorders among the children. So moving on to the problem analysis, we have identified a few factors and effect on the gaming disorder. So the first factor is lack of attention from parents. So some children, they play games to reclaim their parents' attention because most parents, they don't like seeing the children play games and would scold their children. So this is how the children gain the parents' attention. Second factor is social environment. So peers around have gaming account and talks about it. So some children, they who don't play games and all the peers among them have gaming account, so they might feel left out and will tend to create their own gaming account so that they have a topic of conversation with their friends, which is why they play games and later might become addicted. The third factor is stress and depression. So some children play games to feel fulfilled by the reward given from games, and also they will have an interactive session with friends. For example, like when they play games online, then they can meet their friends virtually, so they feel fulfilled that way and can relieve their stress. So for the effects, the first effect of gaming disorder is no self-control. So gaming addicts, they have awareness of their condition, but they don't have control over themselves. Secondly is spiritual neglect. So when you are addicted to games, you lose track of the time. So some might perform prayers late, or they might not even perform prayers at all because they forget about it. Game over reading Quran. So like I said, gaming is addictive. So you don't even remember to actually read Quran because you are having fun playing games with your friend, and you might neglect parents' requests. So when you play games, some games, they have like a feature where you need to play for a round in a certain time. So those children who play games like this, they won't be able to fulfill their parents' requests while playing the games. And lastly, neglect of self-care. For example, like school routine and skip meals. So children who have gaming disorders, they neglect their self-care because they are too occupied in playing games. So they sometimes don't even eat their meals, and then they don't do their homework, they don't take care of themselves, they don't shower and everything that they are supposed to do according to their routine. To continue, I, Ms. Raina Binti Tajuddin, metric number 2210968, will explain the proposed intervention, which is CBT, by highlighting the finding especially from these three papers written on the slides. So in general, CBT is a talking therapy that aims to change the way someone think and behave in order to treat a specific mental health illness. So, by applying CBT to someone with gaming addiction, an individual will have self-awareness where they will be more aware of what they are experiencing, why they are addicted to online games, what are the effects of the addiction, and how to prevent. However, the main difference between general CBT and Islamic-based CBT or Islamic Cognitive Behavioral Therapy (ICBT) is that ICBT includes religion and spiritual aspect in the individual. ICBT encourages the individual to change his or her thoughts and behavior according to Islam or our primary sources, which are Quran and Sunnah. So, for example, general CBT might require them to change their thoughts and behavior according to the ethics, norms, and the culture of the society. However, in ICBT, we must change our thoughts and behavior according to the Quran and Sunnah, or we must rationalize what we are experiencing by understanding the Islamic teachings. Here are some examples from Quranic verses that by understanding the meaning will help the individual to change his or her thought and behaviors of gaming addiction in cognitive behavior therapy.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adiba Dalila binti Muhammad Ikram with metric number 2119638. For my part, I will further discuss about the reflection, opinions and suggestion. Some researchers have said that gaming addiction may lead to lying and theft to fund their gaming habits. This is totally against the Islamic teaching that teaches us to be honest and truthful in every word that we say. Second point that I would like to include is that since game addiction consumes much of our time, there are so many things that are left behind. This aligns with what Allah Subhanahu wa Taala told us in Surah Al-Ans. By the passage of time, surely humanity is in grave loss except those who have faith, do good and urge each other to the truth and urge each other to perseverance. Next is that this point continues with the opinions and suggestion that covers how to maintain a good machine while still engaging with the technologies. Games, Islam does not prohibit games as long as they do not involve anything that contradicts with Islamic principles such as gambling, promoting immorality, and such. It all goes back to the nature of the games and our pure intention. Islam also taught us about wasatiyah, which is moderation, which offers balance life and avoid extremes. Other than that, we always heard people use games as a coping mechanism for their mental health issues. Nevertheless, Islam offers various coping mechanisms for dealing with stress, depression, and such as salat, dua, and taubat. Also maintaining strong social connection with Muslim community. Last but not least, incorporating positive affirmations based on Quranic verses and hadith can reinforce positive thought patterns. For example, by reciting the verse 173 from Surah Al-Imran, Allah alone is sufficient as an aid for us and He is the best protector, this ayah can instill trust and hope in times of distress. I think that's all from me. Thank you.
Lastly, I will explain on the novel viewpoint on current knowledge, which is focusing on the gaps in Islamic intervention. So firstly, the weakness of Islamic intervention does not mention the importance of having supportive environment to help gaming addicts break free from their addiction. So in Islamic intervention, it only suggests that we increase our own ibadah to decrease the addiction. But one thing to note is that gaming addicts, they need someone to be with them because they don't have control over themselves. They have a problem controlling themselves. So what actually should be highlighted is a supportive community. So like parents, siblings, friends, relatives, we are the one who are around them and should provide support and guidance, because having inner determination only is not enough. But we also need like an outer support to make it stable. We need to balance both inner and also outer. So what we can do, how we can actually fill in this gap is, instead of asking them to go read Quran, to do zikir, to increase their ibadah, we should instead create a harmonious circle, harmonious environment for them so that they can shift their attention and passion. Make it a joyful session for them. So what we can do is, instead of telling them to read Quran, we join them to read Quran together. Ask them to do like a Quranic circle. We make that Quranic circle and then invite them to join us. That's how we can actually help them to manage their addiction, because gaming addicts, they are also struggling. What's more, like inside. So this is how we provide like moral support, show them physically that we care, we are here to help them to overcome this addiction.
To conclude, Islam provides us with a holistic approach in treating gaming addiction. Islam not only focuses on cognitive and behavioral therapy, but Islam also focuses on the spiritual aspect in the individual. ICBT also show effectiveness as researchers has found that there was a significant difference in the level of addiction before and after applying CBT. And I hope the current CBT can be improved by solving the gaps mentioned by Khadija. And I believe that's all from us. Thanks for watching.